Here's a story parents you're going to want to know about, especially if you have kids that are about to head into college. I'm sure you've heard the headlines and read the news accounts of all the anti-Donald Trump protests taking place around the nation on our college campuses. But I don't know if you've heard about this one just recently from the University of Maryland. Coming out of the University of Maryland right now, there were a group of 25 different organizations that banded together and created a list of 64 demands to present to the administrators there. The basic gist of these demands were to overcome what they said was a marginalized student population problem that they were experiencing on campus. And they broke down their demands into those stemming from 8 different groups. Among the groups that came together and complained that their populations weren't being represented well enough on campus were Blacks, American Indians, Latinos, the LGBTQ movement, Muslims, and a couple of others, including illegal immigrants, curiously enough. But their demands, when you read through them, it's just outrageous. Among some of their demands were an end to Columbus Day, a mandated diversity training course on queer sensitivity, a automatic tenure for black professors, and specific prayer rooms for Muslims. Now, it's that last one that I wanted to address really quickly. Do you think among this list of demands they had specific rooms set aside for, say, Christians or Buddhists and Hindus? You know, Christians could probably use a separate quiet space where they could gather to study the Bible, worship, and so forth. Maybe Hindus and Buddhists want a specific room for meditation and reflection. And so I guess those populations weren't considered marginalized enough to include on the list of demands. The attitude of the rising generation is basically this: if we whine enough, if we cry enough about feeling uncomfortable, then we get society to change and put in place things that make us feel better about ourselves. And the reason why they do it is because it's working for them. It reminds me of this biblical passage in Psalm 81, which reads this: "So I gave them over to their stubborn hearts to follow their own counsels." Isn't that pretty much what's happening on campuses around America right now? There's no law and order. There's no logic and sensibility. There's only crying and whining about what is making me uncomfortable as a student. And so you, as the administrator or the school or the general population in society, have to change. And the solution for it, you should know, is not going to come from the political world. What it's going to take in order to overcome this chaotic culture that we have going on in America right now is a concerted return to God as a nation and as an individual. Once we put God back in charge of the nation, once we put God back in charge of our lives, and once we start instilling in our children those morals, values, and virtues that were once held common to all humankind, then and only then will these cultural ills that we see on a daily basis just naturally disappear. I'm Cheryl Chumley, taking a stand for Jesus in a land of darkness. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and come check me out at CherylChumley.com for daily news updates. Thanks for listening.